All right, I'll explain this thoroughly and clearly. This is a long and complex history, but I'll try to give you a full picture with the main events, causes, and developments, going back to the origins. 1. Historical background: Jews and Palestine, before 19th century. Ancient history. Historically, the region of Palestine, also called the Land of Israel in Jewish tradition, was the ancient homeland of the Jewish people. The kingdoms of Israel and Judah existed there thousands of years ago, but Jewish sovereignty ended with Roman conquests around 70 CE, destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, and then 135 CE, after the Bar Kokhba revolt. Diaspora. After these events, most Jews were dispersed throughout the Roman Empire and later across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Palestine became part of the Byzantine Empire, then was conquered by Muslim armies in the 7th century, then later controlled by the Ottoman Empire, 1517 to 1917. Importantly, even during this time, some Jewish communities remained in Palestine, especially in cities like Jerusalem, Safed, Tiberias, and Hebron. Second modern era, the rise of Zionism, late 19th century, European anti-Semitism and nationalism. In the 1800s, Europe saw a rise in both anti-Semitism and nationalist movements. Many European Jews facing discrimination, pogroms, violent riots, especially in Eastern Europe and Russia, and exclusion, started dreaming of returning to their ancestral homeland. Zionism. In the 1890s, Theodor Herzl and others founded Zionism, a political movement aiming to establish a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. This was seen by Zionists as a solution to the Jewish problem in Europe. First waves of immigration, Aliyah. Starting in the 1880s, waves of Jewish immigrants began moving to Palestine, then part of the Ottoman Empire. At the time, the land was already inhabited by an Arab population, Muslim and Christian Palestinians. Jews bought land, often legally through absentee landlords, which led to tensions, as it displaced some Arab tenant farmers. Third British Mandate and Escalation, 1917 to 1947, World War I and the Balfour Declaration, 1917. During WWI, Britain issued the Balfour Declaration, stating support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. At the same time, Britain had promised Arab leaders independence in return for support against the Ottomans. Mandate period 1920 to 1948. After World War I, Britain took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate. During this period, Jewish immigration increased, especially in the 1930s, due to Nazi persecution in Europe. Palestinian Arabs opposed mass Jewish immigration and land purchases, fearing loss of their land and political power. There were violent clashes: the 1929 Hebron Massacre, Arab Revolt, 1936 to 1939, and retaliations by Jewish militias. British policy shift. Britain, unable to balance Jewish and Arab demands, tried to limit Jewish immigration, especially during World War II. Tragically, just as Jews in Europe were facing the Holocaust. 4. Creation of Israel and the 1948 War UN Partition Plan, 1947. The UN proposed a partition plan to create two states, one Jewish, one Arab, and an international zone around Jerusalem. Jewish leaders accepted the plan. Arab leaders rejected it, arguing it was unfair. Jews were a minority, but were given a large part of the land. War of 1948, Nakba to Palestinians. In 1948, after the British withdrew, the State of Israel was declared. Neighboring Arab countries invaded. Israel won the war and expanded beyond the original UN partition borders. Around 700,000 Palestinian Arabs fled or were expelled during the conflict, becoming refugees. Palestinians call this the Nakba, meaning catastrophe. 5th. Post-1948. Occupation, refugees, and continued conflict. Palestinian refugees. Many Palestinians ended up in refugee camps in the West Bank, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. Israel did not allow them to return, arguing it would threaten the Jewish majority and statehood. 1967 Six-Day War. Israel captured the West Bank from Jordan, Gaza Strip from Egypt, East Jerusalem, Sinai Peninsula, and Golan Heights. Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza came under Israeli military occupation. Israel later annexed East Jerusalem, a move not recognized internationally. Settlements. Since 1967, Israel has built Jewish settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, which are considered illegal under international law, though Israel disputes this. 6. Modern issues, statehood, and peace process. Efforts at a two-state solution have repeatedly failed. Oslo Accords in the 1990s, Camp David 2000, etc. Main issues: border status of Jerusalem Palestinian refugees' right of return, Israeli settlements, security Gaza Strip. Israel withdrew settlers and soldiers from Gaza in 2005, but the blockade continues. Hamas, an Islamist group hostile